0 In the small town, the originally quiet scene was broken by a few furious roars. All the alchemists were in a solemn mood. Some of the experts had ugly expressions on their faces as they vigilantly surveyed their surroundings. Given their strength, they were naturally able to sense the tiny changes in their respective flames. If not for the fact that their own flames were powerful, it was likely that they would have been extinguished a long time ago. Even more people had indifferent expressions on their faces. As they swept their gazes over, they were completely unable to find out who had attacked. Those who were able to reach this step were basically old monsters who had lived for countless years. Their change in attitude would not be revealed on their faces. Yang Che had been standing outside the town since the beginning, and he had seen everything that had happened clearly. At this moment, he only sneered without any intention of stopping them. This kind of pill competition was called a competition. The 1,000 Leaves Ancient Monarch fire swayed gently. Xiao Yan held his breath and focused his mind. His 5 fingers moved slightly, and his control over the former became more stable. Yi Feng's flame was the beast fire that was taken from the monarch cultivation holy beast's body. Under such circumstances, he didn't have the advantage. Under the sneak attack of someone, it was only natural for the flame to be extinguished. If he had to blame someone, he could only blame himself for being too weak. Before his thoughts dispersed, another hidden force surged over. Its target was the flame within his cauldron. At this point, everyone's nerves relaxed a lot, and they also had time to observe the situation of the others. There were nearly 1,000 medicinal liquids within the cauldron. Basically, they were all Tier 8 medicine pills without a doubt. A medicine pill of this level was a great enemy of everyone. It was naturally best if they were able to destroy it at this moment. Sensing this hidden force, Xiao Yan let out a cold laugh. Stabilizing the movement of the medicinal liquid in the cauldron, his mind moved. The 1,000 Leaves Ancient Monarch fire, which was originally swaying gently, suddenly shook. The monarch flame's aura was like a clap of thunder as it spread out. It directly sent this hidden force flying along this hidden force. It moved with a loud bang. In the next moment, a gray-clothed old man standing not far from Xiao Yan stood up with a gloomy face. In the cauldron in front of him, the brown snake-shaped flame quietly extinguished. The 700-plus medicinal liquids had naturally all become failed products. Xiao Yan ignored the cold gaze that the old man threw at him. Since the old man dared to attack him, there was no need for Xiao Yan to show any mercy. Everyone present was his competitor. The fewer he could be, the better. Damn it, that person who doesn't care about his life dares to attack me. Another sound of flames being extinguished could be heard. A yellow-robed old man with a goatee roared furiously, and his eyes seemed to be on the verge of splitting apart. He stood up aggressively, and his old face became extremely distorted because of his rage. If I can't refine it, don't even think about succeeding. The fury in his chest surged to the heavens, and the yellow-robed old man's gloomy gaze looked towards a black-robed middle-aged man beside him. He smiled malevolently, and suddenly raised his hand. Boundless and vast origin chi surged out with a bang, and he was about to make a move. You're courting death. In the distance, Yang Che's gaze turned cold. He spread out his 5 fingers and bent them abruptly. Without waiting for the yellow-robed elder to attack, the void in Yang Che's palm shattered. The shattered space turned into a black line, and it arrived in front of the yellow-robed old man like a clap of thunder. As the space collapsed, the yellow-robed old man didn't even have the time to scream. His entire body was swallowed by the shattered space, and the black hole slowly closed. Not even a trace of aura flowed out. He raised his hand and killed a monarch cultivation alchemist. Yang Che's facial expression didn't change at all. His cold gaze swept across the crowd. He said in a cold voice, "Trying to behave atrociously here? Do you think you have lived too long?" When these words that contained intense killing intent left his mouth, everyone's hearts trembled. Only now did they think of the former's identity. That was a guardian of heaven, a supreme being level figure at the supreme being level. He was brazenly causing trouble here, truly living long enough. Yang Che's demonstration had completely stunned those alchemists who had extinguished their flames. They had nowhere to vent their anger, so they could only shut their eyes tightly. Before they could calm down, another alchemist's flame was extinguished. Under the latter's ashen face, a hidden force seemed to appear from the void, suppressing the high-grade beast fire that he had taken from the heavenly sovereign-level holy beast without any warning. Xiao Yan gently inhaled. He looked at the void from the corner of his eye. The star wheel was still hanging high in the sky, and the distance between them was still falling. He didn't know how many days it would take. A cold smile emerged on Xiao Yan's face. He was immersed in his thoughts. It seemed like he wouldn't be able to refine pills with peace of mind during this period of time. This was good as well. He might as well stop for now. He wouldn't take the initiative to find trouble with others, but if someone dared to attack him, he would let them remember. Kai. Not long after, Xiao Yan's brows twitched. Under the senses of his soul force, a dark yellow qi quietly surged over like a poisonous snake. It was several times stronger than the qi that attacked him previously. Buzz. The energy was like a poisonous python. It violently struck the 1,000 Leaves ancient monarch fire, causing it to tremble slightly. However, it was not affected in the slightest. Seeing that it could not be extinguished, the dark yellow energy did not linger and was about to retreat. You're leaving just like that? Xiao Yan's heart was as calm as still water. He laughed when he saw this. His 10 fingers moved and the qi of the 1,000 Leaves ancient monarch fire quietly surged out. Under the coordination of his soul force, it smashed toward the dark yellow qi force in a lightning-like manner. In the next moment, it violently smashed onto a silver-white flame. The flame of a heavenly sovereign-level holy beast? Xiao Yan smiled and did not speak when he sensed the grade of this flame. This level of flame, apart from a few monarch flames, it could also be considered as one of the top 10 flames. However, compared to the 1,000 Leaves ancient monarch fire, it could only be considered a defeat. Just as he was about to extinguish it in one go, Xiao Yan raised his brows. He could clearly feel the pleading intent of the beast fire's owner. Following the direction of the thought, Xiao Yan's eyes focused, and then he revealed a playful smile. The owner of this beast fire was actually the old man he had met in the heavenly medicine sect. As if he had sensed Xiao Yan's gaze, the old man raised his head and looked over. When he saw Xiao Yan, he was startled for a moment, and then his expression turned ugly. He gritted his teeth and raised his hand. He cupped his fists and expressed his intention to beg for mercy. A cold look flashed across Xiao Yan's eyes, and without saying a word, just as he was about to extinguish the old man's flame, a thought suddenly occurred to him. As if he had thought of something, his eyes narrowed. Then, with a light laugh, he withdrew his qi. Before withdrawing, there was naturally a trace of suppression. The flame that almost extinguished almost made the old man cry out in pain. In the next 2 days, another 2 streams of qi arrived. They wanted to extinguish Xiao Yan's flame. Naturally, he did not hold back at all. With an unstoppable momentum, he used a crushing method to extinguish these 2 beast fires. He did not hold back at all. After these 2 days, the star wheel had already reached the center of the void. There was only half the time left until the pill refinement ended. At this moment, there were only 8 alchemists left in the town, sitting in front of the heaven cauldron. Apart from Xiao Yan, the red-bearded old man and the fat middle-aged man who stood beside Xiao Yan were also present, as well as the old man who plotted against Xiao Yan. The remaining 4 were all old men. Among the 8 people present, apart from Xiao Yan's 1,000 Leaves ancient monarch fire, the weakest beast fire had almost reached the level of a high-grade heavenly sovereign-level holy beast, which was also the old man's flame. One was purple-black, and the other was reddish-brown. 2. There were only 8 participants left in the huge town, and all around the town were eliminated alchemists. Almost everyone had grim expressions on their faces, and their eyes were filled with jealousy. They couldn't wait to see the 8 participants fail as well. Xiao Yan's expression remained calm, and he allowed the gazes of the crowd to gather on him. There was only half of the time left until the end of the pill competition. Refining a Tier 8 medicine pill, in such a short period of time. He had almost reached his limit. The remaining 7 people, being able to remain until now, could be considered as top-notch figures. They should also be aware of the seriousness of the matter. This also meant that the plan in the dark. It was time to stop. After patiently waiting for another day, Xiao Yan relaxed his tensed nerves when he saw that the others had gradually entered their final state. His spiritual strength contracted and began the merger process of the medicinal liquid. These 3 types of monarch flames. Yang Che's expression did not change. He looked at the 8 people in the small town. His attention was naturally focused on Xiao Yan and the other 2. Xiao Yan's Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire was brown in color, and the purple-black flame should be the Monarch Fire that was ranked 29th on the Monarch Flame, Void Linkong. That scarlet-brown flame was the Barbarian Sovereign's Annihilation Flame, ranked 26th on the Monarch Flame. Yang Che only glanced at them. For someone like him who had already reached the Saint Realm, a Monarch Flame of this level was not necessary. Instead, it was the Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire. It was said that the fire spirit was a natural Bodhi tree, and it was quite tempting to him. After looking at it for a moment, Yang Che retracted his gaze. Although the Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire was good, it was not the main point that he was considering right now. The most important thing at the moment was whether the Moon Heavenly Pen could truly acknowledge him. He still had Jiyu Chengtian above him, and this matter could not be delayed. I heard from Shen Luo that when he was searching for the Star Sky Tablet in the lower realm, he seemed to have sensed the aura of the Monarch Flame. A bright light flashed in Yang Che's eyes. He didn't say anything. Although it might be Shen Luo's misconception, this matter had too much to do with them. Most of the people who possessed the Monarch Flame in the Star Domain were alchemists. He just didn't know if the Star Sky Tablet really belonged to one of them. It wouldn't be too late to ask after the pill competition ended. In front of the Star Cauldron, Xiao Yan's concentration was extremely high. Under the influence of the Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire and his soul energy, dozens of medicinal liquids slowly condensed and were about to merge into one. Boom! All of a sudden, an energy wave that was as sharp as a sword came crashing down. Xiao Yan was unprepared. His soul energy was instantly broken through and was about to hit the Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire. This energy wave was terrifyingly powerful. It was definitely the aura contained within the Monarch Flame. At this moment, the Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire was in a defenseless state. If it was hit by this energy wave, it would probably be completely extinguished. Cold sweat trickled down Xiao Yan's back. It was already too late for him to defend himself, but this bastard had been waiting for him to put down his guard and attack. Buzz! The instant before the chi landed on the Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire, the Star Cauldron suddenly shook slightly. In the next moment, the starlight within the cauldron exploded, shooting out like numerous thin needles, narrowly shattering the chi. Seeing this, Xiao Yan almost shed tears of joy. This thing was worthy of being called the 7 Days Cauldron. It actually had the effect of protecting the cauldron. When he regained his senses, fury instantly surged out from Xiao Yan's eyes. His gaze turned cold as he stabilized the medicinal liquid within the cauldron. He raised his head and looked at the two people who possessed Monarch Flames. One of them was the old man with red hair and beard who knew Ji Wuchuan, and the other was a middle-aged man wearing a brocade cloud robe. When he saw that the heaven cauldron in front of Xiao Yan was unharmed, the middle-aged man in the brocade cloud robe was clearly stunned. Facing Xiao Yan's gaze, the middle-aged man sneered. His 5 fingers moved, and his soul force surged. It firmly protected his 4 heavenly cauldron, preventing Xiao Yan from making any sudden moves. The middle-aged man's Monarch Flame was the purple-black flame called the Monarch Fire of the Void Linkong. You are courting death. Killing intent surged within his eyes. Xiao Yan licked his lips and a ferocious smile appeared on his face. The middle-aged man's soul strength should have reached the ancient stage without a doubt. If he were to fight head-on, he would be the one who would be at a disadvantage. However, his main focus now was the Heaven Cauldron and the Monarch Flame. In this kind of hidden battle, he would not be at a disadvantage at all. Buzz! The Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire suddenly soared within the cauldron. Under the guidance of the soul strength, the Monarch Flame's aura surged like thunder into the middle-aged man's Heaven Cauldron. It was about to break through the latter's defense. The middle-aged man's expression hardened. Clearly, he did not expect Xiao Yan to counterattack without any hesitation. Immediately, he moved his 10 fingers together. A weak glow appeared on the surface of the Heaven Cauldron. It was supported by the soul force of an ancient stage and actually blocked the Thousand Leaves Ancient Monarch Fire's aura. Xiao Yan squinted his eyes. The middle-aged man looked at him with a sneer on his face. After that, he raised his hand and pointed at the void. The meaning behind his words was very obvious. At this moment, there was no longer any time for the two of them to fight anymore. It was best for them to stop fighting. Looking at the middle-aged man's smug face, Xiao Yan's expression was calm. Then, he revealed a smile. If someone did not offend him, he would not offend him. He would not swallow this resentment just like that. His fingertip moved slightly, and a wisp of dense white flame flowed out from his fingertip. It was injected into the heaven cauldron in a strange balance. Following the flow of his soul energy, the quietus monarch burning flame's wild and violent aura mixed with the steady aura of the 1,000 leaves ancient monarch fire once again rumbled. Wang! The impact of the soul force caused the others to involuntarily open their eyes. They looked at the battle between the two in astonishment. Xiao Yan was the one who attacked. The aura of the two monarch flame was like that of a fierce tiger, wild and unruly. The middle-aged man's monarch fire of the void Linkong was like a trembling child, constantly swaying within the heaven cauldron. The huge gap between the monarch flames made the latter almost unable to resist. It was completely blocked by the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man's face was pale. His ancient stage soul was continuously shrinking, but he could only barely deal with Xiao Yan's monarch flame. After all, his ancient stage soul was not very stable. Under the attack of the two monarch flames, it was on the verge of collapsing. In the distance, when Xiao Yan took out the quietus monarch burning flame, Yang Che's calm expression finally changed slightly. His sharp eyes looked at Xiao Yan like sharp blades. He wanted to see something, but it was as if he had encountered an obstacle. He couldn't see anything. You have two monarch flames. And you still have the ability to block my heavenly eye. Star Sky Tablet, is that you? His mind was like a huge wave as a sickly red flush surged onto Yang Che's face due to his excitement. From what Shen Luo had said, the place where the Star Sky Tablet's aura had appeared. There seemed to be the aura of many different kinds of monarch flames. Yang Che could no longer calm down after this thought appeared. He wanted to attack but was afraid of the moon heavenly pen behind him. The latter from the pill competition also supported him this time around. If he attacked the competitors without any reason, it would definitely cause the moon heavenly pen to question him. Taking a step back, he could not alert the enemy. If the other protectors knew about this, he was afraid that there would be more trouble. It was better to act according to the situation. Thinking of this, Yang Che forced himself to calm down. If the Star Sky Tablet was really in this guy's body, the pill competition would no longer be important. While Yang Che was lost in his thoughts, in the small town, the middle-aged man's face was covered in sweat. Under the continuous bombardment of the two ancient stages, the protection formed by the soul of an ancient stage was finally quietly shattered. The moment the ancient stage soul shattered, all the alchemists present sensed something. They looked at the middle-aged man in the cloud brocade robe with a face full of shock. The latter's face was pale. Within the heaven cauldron in front of him, the purple-black flame struggled with all its might, but it was still unable to resist the 1,000 leaves ancient monarch fire and quietus monarch burning flames attacks. Any one of the two monarch flames was ranked in front of the monarch fire of the void Linkong. Moreover, both of them had appeared at the same time. Under the middle-aged man's despairing gaze, the monarch fire of the void Linkong was like a small boat that was struggling in a huge wave. Finally, it capsized and the purple-black flame was slowly extinguished. During the refinement process, it was a great taboo to extinguish the flames of others with malicious intent. It was also the most despicable method. Here, it had become the most effective method to defeat others. A high-level pill refinement was a battle of soul strength, heaven cauldron, and flame. After forcefully extinguishing the violet-black flame, Xiao Yan's face was expressionless. It had already taken him more than half a day to get there. Even though he had won, he still needed to spend the rest of his time concocting Tier 8 medicine pills. Under the gazes of everyone present, Xiao Yan withdrew the two monarch flames. The 1,000 leaves ancient monarch fires circled within the star cauldron and began the process of merging with the medicinal liquid. Although the others were also paying attention to the fight between him and the middle-aged man, the movements of their hands were not slow at all. Those who moved even faster had traces of pill fragrance seeping out from the cauldron in front of them. Two monarch flames. Just how did this bastard do it? The middle-aged man in the cloud brocade robe stood up with an ugly expression. He forcefully endured the grief in his heart. He possessed the soul of an ancient stage and even had a monarch flame. If nothing unexpected happened, he would definitely be able to enter the top 3 of the pill competition. Initially, he thought that this sneak attack would be a piece of cake, but in the end, it ended with his own flame being extinguished. Although he did not know about Xiao Yan's monarch flame, given Xiao Yan's strength, it was definitely not some high-grade monarch flame. With his strength and the sudden sneak attack, he would be able to easily obtain it. How could he have imagined that this would be the case? The surrounding people looked at each other in dismay. They looked at Xiao Yan in their eyes. Other than shock, what was left was endless greed. This time, in the pill competition, the alchemist grandmaster of the star domain. Even the alchemists from outside the realm were famous for coming here. To be able to come to this round, all of them were genuine experts, but only 3 of them possessed monarch flames. This young man actually possessed 2 monarch flames. A man is innocent, having a treasure is a crime. This guy, I seem to have seen him somewhere before. After carefully staring at Xiao Yan's face for a moment, someone suddenly said in a low voice. In an instant, some alchemists who had thoughts about Xiao Yan's monarch flame looked over. In their hearts, they were already thinking about something. I can't be wrong. I have seen the seal before. He alone defeated 2 heavenly sovereign warriors in Forest Domain. As soon as the words left his mouth, it was as if a stone had been thrown into the calm lake, causing a huge commotion among the crowd. Some monarch cultivation alchemists' expressions changed, and they began to calculate the pros and cons of this incident. While all the alchemists were lost in their thoughts, a cold light flashed in Yang Che's eyes. He had killed 2 heavenly sovereign alchemists with the strength of a monarch cultivation. He had seen such a man before, and it was also because of this that he had already left the star domain. A genius comparable to Sang Yu? Yang Che pursed his lips. His hands behind his back slowly tightened. Images flashed across his mind. He still remembered that night when Sang Yu was forced to leave the star domain. That pair of cold eyes seemed to be able to freeze everything in the world. I wonder if letting him leave is a good thing or a bad thing. Today, Yang Che was a little confused about his decision. That was the tyrant heavenly king physique, which was rarely seen in the ancient times. If he allowed Sang Yu to leave, would the heavens be able to control him in the future? Ji Yu Changtian, if you want to nurture your own confidence, don't play yourself to death. Cold intent surged in his eyes. Yang Che let out a cold snort. He already had the intention to kill Xiao Yan. Once the pill competition was finished, he would find an opportunity to kill Xiao Yan. Regardless of whether Xiao Yan had a star sky tablet in his body, even if he did, given the latter's newly awakened ability, he would definitely not be a match for Yang Che. Letting Sang Yu go back then was Ji Yu Changtian's intention. Although he strongly opposed it, the former's consciousness was not something he could go against alone. He could only watch helplessly as Sang Yu was released. Sang Yu was rescued by the Yin Emperor of Battle Domain. It was ridiculous that he wanted to control the tyrant heavenly king body. If he could kill a heavenly sovereign when he was at the monarch cultivation, then when he reached the heavenly sovereign, wouldn't he not even put a supreme saint in his eyes? If he became a supreme saint, perhaps even they wouldn't be a match for him. At that time, perhaps a second yin-yang saint lord would appear, and he would regard the heavens as nothing. When Xiao Yan calmed down, the old man with red hair and beard, who hadn't attacked yet, coldly looked at Xiao Yan. A trace of killing intent flashed across his emotionless eyes, and he calmed down. He then focused his attention on the medicine pill in the heaven cauldron in front of him. Within the star cauldron, thousands of medicinal liquids floated in the air. Under the effect of the 1,000 leaves ancient monarch fire, they quickly merged together in a specific path. The medicinal liquids with the same medicinal properties gathered into a ball of faint liquid that emitted a different fragrance. The fusion process of the medicinal liquid. Although it was not too difficult, the time it took was extremely huge. By the time all the medicinal liquids were completely fused, more than 10 days had already passed. For alchemists of this level, casually concocting a medicine pill would take a lot of time. These few days of waiting. The crowd didn't show any displeasure. The 7 alchemists in the town. The heaven cauldrons in front of him were emitting different medicinal fragrance. The medicinal fragrance drifted into the void. It even formed a substance-like medicinal aura that could be seen with the naked eye, blocking out the stars in the sky. After the medicinal liquid fused, one could basically sense the grade of the medicine pills that each person refined. Among the 7 people, other than the 2 participants who refined the Tier 7 medicine pills, the other 5 people actually all had Tier 8 medicine pills. Among the 7 people present, there were 4 alchemists who possessed ancient stage souls. The last one who was refining Tier 8 medicine pills was Xiao Yan. You're really arrogant. You think you can refine a Tier 8 medicine pill with just 2 medicine pills? The middle-aged man in the cloud brocade robe that was eliminated had a cold expression as he spoke with ridicule. His voice was extremely loud, and it drew the laughter of some people that were similarly eliminated. Yifeng stood in the crowd and frowned. He had heard some information about Xiao Yan from Li Daoyuan. Back in the pill competition of Spirit Heaven Mansion, Xiao Yan had also tried his best. He had won the championship of the pill competition, but now, the gap between a grade 7 medicine pill and a grade 8 medicine pill was like a chasm. Even if he had 2 monarch flames, no matter how much blood essence he spat out, and absolutely unable to refine successfully. Another 2 days passed in the blink of an eye while everyone was waiting with their own thoughts. The pill chi that surged out from the heaven cauldron where the Tier 7 medicine pill was located was completely different from the pill chi of a Tier 8 medicine pill. Just the pill chi that lingered in the empty space was able to see the enormous difference between the two. Hence, everyone's eyes paused on the remaining 5 people. 5 vast and surging medicinal chi surged up. Each of them occupied a spot in the empty space. It was as if 5 parties were competing for supremacy, and an incomparable aura erupted. 0 Under the effect of Xiao Yan's soul energy, the spheres of medicinal liquid condensed in the same place. At the same time, Xiao Yan pushed with both of his hands. In front of the star cauldron, boundless origin chis surged out from his body. With the help of the origin monarch chis, he continued to refine the medicinal liquid within the star cauldron. Success or failure depended on this one move. The difficulty of refining a grade 8 2-star medicine pill was far from what a grade 7 medicine pill could compare with. Even an ordinary 3-day cauldron would likely be unable to withstand the impact of a medicine pill of this level. The final result would be the heaven cauldron exploding. Countless clusters of medicinal liquid within the star cauldron emitted a rumbling force that spread within the cauldron. The origin chis that were poured into it began to buzz. It even caused the space within the cauldron to continuously distort. One might even be injured if one was careless within it. Although the interior of the cauldron seemed to have flipped over the sky, looking from the outside, the star cauldron was still as stable as Mount Tai. Compared to the heaven cauldron of the other few people, the former was as still as a mountain, saving Xiao Yan a lot of trouble. Damn it! In the distance, there was an alchemist who was similarly refining a Tier 8 medicine pill with a miserable expression. The Tier 8 medicine pill within the cauldron erupted with a strong medicinal effect, causing his 4 heavenly cauldron to tremble slightly. During the process of fusing with the medicinal liquid, this was an extremely unstable factor, and it could cause all his previous efforts to go to waste at any time. The origin chi continuously surged out from within his body. A couple of days passed in the blink of an eye. The Skyjade spiritual transformation pill was like a bottomless pit as it continuously absorbed the origin chi. Sweat involuntarily flowed out from Xiao Yan's forehead. The sudden change in the burning spell had also caused him to not know what level it had reached and whether it was sufficient to support him in successfully refining a Tier 8 medicine pill. That heaven cauldron seems to be extraordinary. The space behind Yangche gently split open. A silver-armored man stepped out. His eyes were like sharp blades as he looked at the heaven cauldron in front of Xiao Yan. You can also see that something is not right. Yangche sneered. His eyes swept across the sky. Then he looked at the silver-armored man and said in a deep voice, "I estimate that it will be at least a 6 heavens cauldron." 6 heavens. Hearing this, the silver-armored man who had just appeared took a deep breath. As guardians of the heavens, they definitely knew more things, and knew a bit about the rarity of a 6 heavens cauldron. Just how did this fellow possess it? Not only that, he also has 2 monarch flame, and he has even killed 2 heavenly sovereign warriors. Yangche narrowed his eyes. The words he said caused the silver-armored man to reveal a shocked expression. Another Sang Yu? After pondering for a moment, the silver-armored man gritted his teeth and spoke. A single tyrant heavenly king body had already roused their vigilance. And now there was another person who was so terrifying. They could only kill him to prevent any future troubles. Furthermore, the Star Sky tablet might also be with him. After a while, Yangche finally spoke in a low voice. His eyes were filled with cold light, as if he was thinking about something. Star Sky tablet. The silver-armored man was even more shocked. He immediately reacted and spoke in a deep voice. If the Star Sky tablet is really here, how could the moon heavenly pen not sense it? so I'm only suspicious. Yang Che's voice was low. However, we can't rule out the possibility that the Star Sky Tablet's strength has been greatly reduced and the Moon Heavenly Pen can't communicate with him. Regardless of whether the Star Sky Tablet is here or not, this fellow must be eliminated. 2 Monarch Flames was already enough to be their reason to attack, not to mention that they could kill 2 Heavenly Sovereign Warriors. Don't worry, the Moon Heavenly Pen is here, so we can't attack him. However, once he leaves this place, it will be the time of his death. The silver-armored man nodded his head. He was a member of Yang Che's side, and he was quite supportive of the latter. That's right, I've come here. There's one more thing I need to tell you. In the end, the silver-armored man's face changed, and he said in a serious voice. What? Another 9 disciples were reborn? Yang Che raised his eyebrows, and said with an icy cold tone. This matter has nothing to do with the 9 disciples. It has nothing to do with Nether Domain. Nether Domain. What are they doing now? Hearing this, Yang Che's expression immediately became gloomy. After learning that the 9 disciples had been reborn, they began to monitor the Nether Domain. Over the years, although the Nether Domain had many small tricks up their sleeves, however, the true experts had always stayed in the Nether Domain, and had never acted rashly. These few days, because of the pill competition in the Star Domain, he had also relaxed his surveillance of the Nether Domain. He had never thought that they would make a move so soon. The experts of the Nether Domain didn't make any moves. However, that aura belonged to the old monster of the Nether Domain. The silver-armored man took a deep breath and continued, "It seems like someone went to the place where Satsuma died. When I went there, the grand formation that sealed Satsuma was destroyed." Hearing this, Yang Che closed his eyes and only opened them after a long time. No worries. Nether Imperial Consort has been sealed by the Grand Formation for a long time. Her strength will definitely be greatly damaged and there will not be any improvement in a short period of time. As for the one who saved her, I can't tell where it came from. Satsuma is the princess of Nether Domain. Letting her out will definitely revive Nether Domain. This is a huge matter. Aren't you going to take action? Hearing the calm tone in Yang Che's words, the silver-armored man's heart trembled as he spoke in a deep voice. How are you going to take action? Logically speaking, the Star Domain is the weakest of all the domains in the Great World. Even if we attack, it won't be our turn. Furthermore, the resurrection of the 9th disciple would inevitably lead to the rise of the Nether Domain. This was something that couldn't be stopped. Let's call it fate for now. Sighing, Yang Che sneered. But this matter is also an opportunity. I'm afraid Jiyu Changtian has already known about it. This matter can help Moon Heavenly Pen make a decision faster. You and Jiyu Changtian will definitely have a battle. Turning his gaze to the few alchemists in the town, the silver-armored man said in a deep voice. Maybe. Yang Che smiled indifferently. He crossed his arms over his chest, and his expression was calm. In the small town, Xiao Yan sat upright. Within the star cauldron, an uneven medicine pill had already taken shape. A rich medicinal fragrance spread in all directions, forming a substance like qi. 7 different qi forces competed in the void, neither giving way to the other. As more and more origin qis poured into the medicine pill, the surface of the medicine pill became increasingly round and round. It was formed in an instant. Buzz. A few days later, a ray of light rushed out from the old man's pill furnace that Xiao Yan had gone to the ruins of the heavenly medicine sect. The old man's face was calm as he waved his hand. He held the medicine pill in his hand and looked at the others who were still immersed in the process of refining the medicine pill. The old man sighed and tactfully put away the heaven cauldron before leaving the town. He truly did not have the qualifications to compete for the top 3 of the Tier 7 medicine pills. In the next few days, the Tier 8 medicine pill also began the process of forming a pill. Numerous shocking rays of light flashed across the void, bringing with them a medicinal strength that could shock one's mind. Xiao Yan sighed lightly. He had already used all his strength. Refining a Tier 8 medicine pill with a soul strength that had yet to reach the ancient stage was really too difficult. Even with the enhancement of the Star Cauldron, the latter, he could only use it, his true ability. However, he did not have the slightest control over the medicine pill in the cauldron. There were no miracles. It was a grade 8, 2-star Merrick spirit transformation pill. Compared to the other apothecaries present, it seemed that it could only be ranked 3rd. Holding the green medicine pill in his hand, Xiao Yan could not help but feel weak in his heart. He had already done his best and listened to the will of the heavens. However, even if he had the conditions that others did not have, the strength of the hardware was still inferior. The top 3 would have the chance to meet with the Moon Heavenly Pen. There was still a chance. 2. If a Tier 8 medicine pill was placed in the lower realm, there would already be pill lightning appearing. Some higher quality medicine pills would even attract human-shaped lightning. However, these things were easily resolved in the heavens. A place that was protected by a sacred object would not allow an ordinary heavenly tribulation to act wildly. Hence, other than the shocking medicinal aura, there was no overly shocking scene when a Tier 8 medicine pill was formed. He held the Skyjade spiritual transformation pill in his hand and focused his attention on the medicine pill in his hand. A long while later, Xiao Yan lifted his head with a strange expression. This medicine pill of his seemed to be somewhat different from the others. The effect of the Skyjade spiritual transformation pill was very effective for heavenly sovereign level warriors. After monarch cultivation warriors stepped into the heavenly sovereign, they needed to start comprehending the heavenly law. Only when the heavenly law was comprehended to a certain level could it shatter the void and control the power of space. The Skyjade spiritual transformation pill was very useful for heavenly sovereign level warriors to comprehend the heavenly law. The Skyjade spiritual transformation pill that was injected by his origin chi seemed to be slightly different from what Xiao Yan had seen in all kinds of ancient books. However, he could not tell what was different about it. Refining a Tier 8 medicine pill in the heavens was no different from refining ordinary medicine pills in the lower realms. The scene that shook the heavens and earth did not appear under the pressure of the sacred object. It also made some alchemists who wanted to watch the pill thunder strike feel rather regretful. As the star wheel completely sank to the west, the stars that filled the sky appeared once again. The sea of clouds churned, and there was an endless vastness and majesty. The third round of the pill competition has ended. Beside Yang Che, there were already several silver-armored men. All of them were Star Domain Guardian, and all of them had awe-inspiring auras. They had an inviolable aura. Yang Che's ice-cold eyes swept across the people who had been eliminated. He then looked at the remaining 7 people. The corner of his mouth was lifted and he said, "Congratulations to the few of you. Next, the grade of the medicine pill that you are refining will be evaluated by the few of us." Before he finished speaking, an ethereal voice seemed to come from the sky and echoed in everyone's ears. "This time, we will treat the heavens as our host. I will be the one to judge the result of the pill competition." At the same time, a golden light emerged in the void. A wolf hair brush that seemed to be able to support the sky appeared out of thin air. As the golden light surged, the wolf hair brush disappeared and turned into an illusory old woman. The old woman had a kind expression. Her hair was white, and her forehead was filled with warmth. There was a crescent moon mark on her forehead. As she walked, it was as if the stars in the sky were supporting her body, bringing with them endless rays of light. Senior. When they saw the old woman, the hearts of the 5 people led by Yang Che trembled, and they respectfully cupped their fists. A trace of an undetectable cold light flashed across Yang Che's eyes. The sudden appearance of the Moon Heavenly Pen had caused his thoughts about Xiao Yan to fade. Although the old woman in front of him was just an illusion, her strength was still not something that the protectors like them could compare with. This was also the reason why they could only obtain the recognition of the Moon Heavenly Pen as much as possible, and did not dare to use force. If they were to seek justice, they might obtain the support of the Moon Heavenly Pen. However, if they were to forcefully seize it, it was likely that they would die instantly. Their long lives were given to them by the Moon Heavenly Pen, so it was naturally only a matter of a thought for them to take it back. This is the sacred object of the star region. Shen Luo, who was standing beside Yang Che, spoke in a deep voice when he saw the shocked expressions of the surrounding people. He was also on Yang Che's side. Between the protectors, Jiyu Changtian and Yang Che were the main ones. As for the others, they were merely wishful thinking. Before she could finish, the old lady waved her hand and stopped Shen Luo from speaking. She looked at everyone with a smile, then turned her eyes to Xiao Yan and the others. "Bring your medicine pills to me and let me see their grades. I will naturally make a fair evaluation." The old woman spoke softly. Her voice seemed to have a magical power that could cover the ages, causing everyone's mind to clear up. The exhaustion caused by the pill refinement had disappeared without a trace at this moment. Everyone naturally did not dare to object to the friendly smile of the old lady with the reminder of the guardian. The medicine pill in their hands had just been unfolded when it automatically flew into the old lady's hands. Xiao Yan stared deeply at the old lady, who had transformed from the moon heavenly pen. The instant the old lady appeared, he clearly sensed a change in the star sky tablet within his body. The latter seemed to be deliberately hiding her aura. Perhaps it was because she was afraid of the guardian here and did not appear to see the moon heavenly pen. In front of him floated 7 medicine pills of various colors that were the size of longans. The dense core chi seemed to have solidified and transformed into something tangible. They turned into all kinds of rare and unusual beasts. In the hands of the moon heavenly pen, it obediently curled into a ball. Everyone, do you think that one of these medicine pills is better than the other? With a wave of his hand, the 7 medicine pills arrived in front of the protectors. The moon heavenly pen smiled faintly and said, "This." The few of them were startled. They carefully looked at the medicine pills in front of them. 2 Tier 7 medicine pills were naturally excluded. The remaining medicine pills were the highest grade medicine pills among the 5 Tier 8 medicine pills. This Essence Spirit Yang pill has an abundance of medicinal properties. It has vaguely reached the level of a Tier 8 3-star medicine pill. In my opinion, it can be ranked first in the pill competition. Yang Che was the first to speak and spoke respectfully. Upon hearing Yang Che's words, a yellow-robed elder couldn't help but feel delighted. This Yuan Ling Yang pill was concocted by him, and it was also one of the 2 people Xiao Yan felt inferior to. What about the both of you? The moon heavenly pen chuckled and looked at the other protectors. It didn't comment on Yang Che's words. This purple-lined sacred spirit pill has an extremely strong effect on the cultivation of heavenly sovereign-level experts. Furthermore, it is refined from monarch flames. Perhaps, it will be able to fight for the first place. Shen Luo hurriedly spoke. He stared at the moon heavenly pen's expression and spoke with a probing tone. The red-bearded old man raised his eyebrows and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. He was extremely confident in his medicine pill. Seeing this, Xiao Yan pursed his lips. The protector's eyesight was indeed not bad. These 2 medicine pills were the ones he did not have the confidence to fight against. He did not have any complaints about losing to them. The other protectors also gave these 2 medicine pills compliments. Compared to the other 2 medicine pills, the other medicine pills were a bit lacking in their eyes. I don't know everyone, but do you know Sacred Lord Yin Yang? After asking around, the moon heavenly pen seemed to ponder for a moment before slowly speaking. As soon as the words left his mouth, Yang Che and the others' expressions changed. How could they not know about this person? Even if the heavens had moon heavenly pens. That guy came and left whenever he wanted, as if he was visiting his own backyard. He was unbridled. If it wasn't for the fact that Sacred Lord Yin Yang was naturally carefree and did not like restrictions, they would really suspect that this fellow wanted to become the master of the star domain. Looks like we all have an impression of him. Seeing the change in the expressions of everyone, the moon heavenly pen nodded. After which, it extended its finger and took out one of the few medicine pills, attracting everyone's attention. The aura within this medicine pill is extremely similar to that of the Yin-Yang Sacred Lord. With everyone's eyesight and awareness, can this medicine pill become the top name of the pill competition this time around? The moon heavenly pen's voice was ethereal. The medicine pill on the tip of his finger was the size of a longan. It was Xiao Yan's Skyjade Spiritual Transformation Pill.